What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Report podcast. This is, I believe, episode 5. This week, we're just going to catch up on a few things. We missed the podcast like the last 2 weeks, partially because some people weren't ready. My internet went out. I was moving. So, yeah, this is just a catch up week. Then we'll go back to our normal stuff on Saturday. So, it's just me and the Black Megas here. Nick and Kid, they might hop in a second, but let's just talk about, I guess we'll talk about the Super Bowl first. What we thought about it.
Damn, it's
And
sad how long we've been gone away.
yeah,
Yeah, Super Bowl. So, I mean, everybody pretty much has talked about it, and it's going to continue to be talked about until next year. One of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life. I don't care what y'all say, the percentage is, how many times the Seahawks have ran at the 2-yard line, blah, blah, blah. You got 2 timeouts, 3 downs, 40 seconds. You don't make that pass. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can tell me that can convince me that was the smart thing to do.
I'll give the Patriots some credit. That catch that Curtis bobbled, that was lucky. But other than that, y'all could have easily lost that game. Y'all should have lost it.
Oh, no doubt. That game should have been lost. They got lucky. I know they hate to hear that, but they got lucky. Very, very lucky with that one. I mean, it is what it is. Now you got Marshawn Lynch talking about retiring, which kind of can't blame him. 'Cause
Yeah.
after that, I would be like, I don't even know why I'm on the field with you guys, because that shit makes no sense whatsoever.
That man, I just, I don't know. Like he's known to run people over. You're at the 1 yard line and you throw it. Like it's crazy.
It was too much of a common sense call, and it's like I know everybody was expecting it. They were going to line up for it. I don't care. You guys stop me.
Yeah, like I told you in the beginning, they should have done at least a play action. Don't just come out there and shotgun and throw the ball. Like you're at the 1 yard line trying to trick them. Like,
Yeah, because they were lining up for that run. So yeah, if I would have
and,
did a play action bootleg, not just a straight quick slant.
and to me, like the Malcolm Butler play, I don't think he would have been in that position if he didn't come out and shotgun because he knew they were going to pass, so he just jumped the route as soon as they snapped the ball.
Yeah, he just hit. I mean, he made a great play. Although I still contest that he wasn't necessarily just trying to jump the route, but he was just trying to knock the guy out, knock the ball off.
Yeah,
He's trying to get in the middle and disrupt it.
the
And
ball just happened to fall in his hands.
yeah, so I mean, hats off to him. Man. He gets a free car.
That was his first interception too. That's the crazy thing.
Right. Good time to step up.
That is that whole game was crazy because what was the score like at the end of the third? Because then the Patriots scored what like 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it wasn't looking that good for them, and then all of a sudden they just made that comeback, and you were sitting there like, how are they just letting them control the fourth quarter like that? I mean, they controlled that whole fourth quarter.
I mean, yeah, they played good, but still like the Seahawks defense was banged up. Like I honestly think if they were 100%, that comeback wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I mean, right from the first interception when dude got hurt, that changed the game because he was their, best nickel corner,
And,
and that opened the field up.
yeah, they just started attacking the backup too. They threw to Edelman about 20 times. The backup on him.
Yeah, so that opened the game up. They probably wouldn't have even had that chance if he didn't get hurt, and then other people were on the defense were already nicked up and things like that. So, on a full healthy Seahawks team, probably wouldn't even been put in that position.
Yeah, Richard Sherman has to have Tommy John surgery, like, and then Earl Thomas was playing with a dislocated shoulder, like he could barely even tackle. Like,
Right. Exactly. And Tommy John surgery, that's something that's serious.
yeah,
So, I mean, I guess congratulations to the Patriots. What's that? Fifth, fourth? Yeah, fourth Super
Uh,
Bowl.
yeah,
I kind of wish people would shut up about the debate about the greatest quarterback. By the way,
yeah.
because you can't compare that in my mind. My argument for that is okay, so you can't compare Kobe and Jordan because Jordan never lost the Super Bowl. I mean, never lost the NBA championship. Same way as Tom Brady and Joe Montana. Joe Montana's never lost one. So
Yeah, Brady lost to Eli twice. I'll still give him crap for that.
he was about to lose his third straight one if it
Yeah.
wasn't for that call. It was that one call that saved him.
All right, we can. What do you think about the Dallas situation with Dez and DeMarco? Who do you think they'll sign, or can they sign both of them, or do you think both of them are going to leave, or one of them is going to leave? Like, what do you think about that?
They should sign both. They should do whatever they can to sign both. Um, one of them, Dez, I would say is a priority. You have to sign Dez because
Yeah, I
you
agree.
can't get rid of that type of wide receiver. DeMarco, I'm trying to do something where I could pad him with incentives so he can get stuff on the back end.
Yeah,
Because he's gonna get 1,000 yards, so I can say, okay, I'll add the clause like every time you get 1,000 yards, we pay you a bonus. That way, we know that you're gonna get some money out of
I
this.
saw. I saw the article about Jerry Jones saying if he did come back, his workload would be less. So we'll see about that.
Oh yeah, because you want to save him. You don't want to ruin the guy, so that makes sense. But you got to figure out a way to get both of them because they're too valuable, and that protects Romo because we saw what happened once they finally started to run the ball.
Yep.
That made things a lot easier for Romo to get the ball off to Dez. So,
Still
although I
just.
do find it weird now that Adrian Peterson is trying to throw his name in that mix.
Oh yeah, I saw that he wanted to play for Dallas, but like, I don't know. They can't even possibly get all three of them.
No, there's if Adrian Peterson, somebody would have to go because
Yeah.
he would demand way too
That
much.
would be a crazy backfield though. AP and DeMarco, if they could pull that off somehow.
Yeah, that would be weird if they could get both of them. I don't know how that would work. That's just not enough, touches. But
Yeah.
shit.
All right. What else is there? The Broncos. They're two free agents, Demarius and Julius Thomas. I've seen a lot of people just claim that everybody's going to Oakland. So I don't know why they're talking about Julius Thomas going to Oakland, DeMarco, and Ndamukong Suh. I'm like, why?
Money. I mean, they have the cap space. You may not necessarily do anything, but they
Yeah.
have the cap space, and we've seen
Yes.
enough people go there for a couple of years, get paid, and then leave. I mean, look at Woodson. He went there, left, ended up getting him a ring, then came back, finished off his career.
Yeah. There
So
was another article about Ndamukong Suh. His number one team was the Seahawks. I was like, if they get him, oh my god.
yeah, I don't think they should even allow that to happen because if you had him at the yeah, nah, he can't. You can't put him. And you can't put him up front with that
You,
defensive
yeah,
secondary.
you can't do anything. Like the game is over as soon as you hop on the field. You can't run the ball. You can't pass the ball.
Yeah, that
You got to
that
hope
would
for
make
a kick
it cool.
return just to score.
Yeah, your special teams would be your pretty much offense to get you in a position where you could hopefully get to the 30 and kick a field goal. That would be your goal right there. You have to try to run clock as best as you can. He's not going to Seattle. I don't think he's leaving Detroit. To be quite honest, um, he's their best defensive player. He's part of what makes their defense, as decent as it is. They don't have the best defense in the world, but
Yeah,
he definitely does, help make it passable. So
yeah. Glover
yeah,
Quinn is about the only person that even could. say is decent on that defense besides him?
Yeah, I mean they would be foolish to let him
Yeah.
walk. Um,
I mean,
I think nobody else can afford him either. That's another thing.
Nick Fraley's another good dude. Nick Fraley's alright.
Yeah,
Him and so that combination.
yeah, and that would be a really good combination if Fairley ever stayed healthy, but he doesn't stay on the field most of the season. But I mean, now he stay in Detroit. You know, you fit there anyway. Nobody's gonna put up with you getting fined and all that all the time, like Detroit is at this point.
Yeah. What do you think about the change of coaches everywhere, like Rex Ryan and where did I'm trying to think who replaced the Broncos? Was it what's his name?
Del Rio.
No, wasn't it Gary Kubiak?
Yeah, Kubiak. Where
Yeah.
did Del Rio go? Did he went to Oakland, right? Look,
Uh,
Jack Del Rio had got a job too.
I think he's like maybe a coordinator. I don't know. But like Rex Ryan was saying
Jack
that
Del Rio did get the head coach job for the Raiders. So.
oh, all right. Rex Ryan was saying that he was going to build the Bills into a bully, that they're going to do something in the playoffs this year. So I don't know if they signed what's his name, Richie Incognito. So I guess it's a bully, but
Well, one of the things that's good for Rex is that he has a team that has a fairly established running back, so he can do his ground and pound thing. You know, he has two running backs.
yeah, they got two.
You know, so that helps him. The defense has definitely gotten better over the years, and they're a lot younger than what he came into with the Jets, so that's a plus. And it's a team that's already already built up. They're already getting better, so he can take advantage of that. He doesn't have to really work. So he has a 2-3 year window. He'll well, the thing about him is what's going to happen after your team starts losing players. Because that's what happened with him with the Jets. He came into the Jets, and the Jets had some people who were established, and then after a couple of years,
Went to the AFC Championship 2 times in a row.
yep. And then they started losing free agents, people retired, and all that. And then what happened? He couldn't put together a team. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes in Buffalo. Yeah. But Gary Kubiak, I'm surprised he finally is getting a coaching job.
Wasn't he? Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, something like that.
Yeah, and he was coaching Houston. I didn't think he did
Yeah,
a
he
bad
coached.
job.
Yeah, he coached the Texans. Yep.
I didn't think he did a bad job. They
Didn't have anything.
Nah, so
They won what? They won 2 games that year. 2-14, something like that. They were like 2-0, and then they just lost the rest of their games.
yeah, and that was
Good.
before that they were doing really well. So
Yeah, their turnaround this year was really good. Considering they only won 2 games, but yeah. All right, we can move on to the NBA now. The All-Star Weekend. Did you watch any of the events? Which one was your favorite?
my All-Star weekend was crazy because I started watching the stuff on Saturday. Then right before the 3-point contest, my fucking power went out.
Hmm.
And it was 15 degrees outside with no power, no heat.
Yeah.
That was fun. But I was able to catch the highlights of the 3-point contest. No surprise to me who won that.
I was surprised that Kyle Korver didn't get a higher score just because he's shooting 52% this year.
Yeah, now that is surprised. He should have did much better. Kyrie kind of shocked me in the beginning.
Kyrie had already didn't he? I think he won a couple years ago. Yeah,
he won it before,
Yeah.
but still, I didn't think he was going to do that good. With all those other people around, he kind of shocked me that he did that. But Steph Curry, I mean, everybody should have known.
Yeah, I would have picked at least him and Clay in the finals. Anybody else that could have been a toss up.
Yeah, nah. Steph Curry, that's no surprise. I'm surprised he didn't do better, to be quite
He
honest.
was killing in the last one. I think he missed 5, maybe 6 shots.
Right. It wouldn't have surprised me if he would have cleared everything. That dude is just so good. I mean, that's why I was surprised him and his dad didn't win the
Yeah,
team.
that thing that comes down to luck with the half court shot because you can sit there, you can make it your first charge, you can make it at the last second of your time limit. I mean, that thing is a toss up. If they didn't have the half court shot, they probably would have won.
Oh yeah, because I never saw how Bosch could win that all the time.
And they got the WNBA players too, so I doubt they can even throw it that whole way. But what do you think about? Did you catch the what was that called? The skills challenge. That thing personally to me, that thing was it was boring.
It always Skill Challenge is always boring. The highlight for me because that was pretty much the last thing I got to see before my power went out. And the only impression I got off that was like Patrick Beverly needs to take a shower because he was looking rough as hell. He looked so yeah. People were like Patrick who, but I was like laughing because he just yeah, dude. You play in the NBA, you can afford to groom yourself a little bit better.
I don't get why they keep changing the format like that head-to-head thing. It was going way too fast, and they didn't even do anything like special. I mean, the hardest part was bouncing the ball through the little circle.
The problem is it's nothing that people really care to see.
Yeah,
They keep bringing it back, and it's like clearly nobody cares. So why do you keep bringing this back? But they're trying to force it as something that people want to see. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you can keep the team thing. That's okay. Although you can get rid of that too, as far as I'm concerned. But it's a slam dunk contest and it's the 3-point contest. Everything after that is just filler.
that dunk contest, man. I had picked Oladipo to win. Man, Levine, oh my god.
And it's funny because after I like talked about it, people were saying you need to go look him up, and I did, and he didn't even do anything like out the ordinary for himself. If you look at his old stuff, like I may mention, like he probably could. I said something like he probably could do like a 360 from the foul line or something crazy like that. And then somebody sent me this video clip of him where he takes off from the foul line and does a windmill dunk from the foul line. I'm like, God damn! And the dude's his like hops are ridiculous. He wasn't even trying, and he was just destroying everybody.
My thing is, y'all don't put a center in the dunk contest, man. Like,
there needs to be a height limit, because, I mean, I don't care how much people like Dwight's thing. Dwight's wasn't all that impressive to me, because...
he can stand up and dunk. He can just put his arm up and dunk. Like,
it doesn't take much effort, so... And it doesn't look as good when somebody...
yeah, it doesn't look flashy, because they're just,
It's like them missing a dunk is more surprising than them making a dunk. So, yeah, I don't know why centers even try. They think they can enter the dunk contest. It just does not work at all. But, I mean, other than that, Levine pretty much was the only thing.
Yeah, to me, he was the highlight of the All-Star weekend, because I didn't even really watch the All-Star game. I was just sitting here. I wasn't interested in that, but...
Yeah, the game... I don't know, maybe, is it me, or do you feel like the All-Star game really doesn't have a place anymore?
They don't do anything. It's just like a shoot around. Like a full court shoot around.
Like the first 3 quarters, they, bullshit. Somebody might do some crazy dunk, throw something off the backboard. But for the most part, I feel like they waste the first 3 quarters just playing around, and then the last quarter, all of a sudden, they get kind of serious if it's close,
Yeah.
and then that's it. Like people were upset that Russell Westbrook didn't get a chance to break the record. Who cares? I'm sure he didn't care. It it wasn't even that interesting. It was something you only knew about it because they talked about
He
it.
didn't want that All-Star MVP. He wants the real MVP. So until he
Right.
gets that, he's not happy.
Yeah, so it's like whatever. Yeah,
And
the NBA All Star games doesn't, especially since you look at the rosters too, and you see some of the people on there, and the fact that it's all like fan voting. And they got rid of all the positions. It's just not all that special to me anymore.
I do like the way they set up they didn't set it up. They just brought it back the way the dunk contest was. Because that team stuff last year, that threw me off.
Yeah, it should just be individuals, and nobody cares about that.
Also, did you hear about Jerome Kersey passing away?
Yeah, I heard that. He was what, like 50? He wasn't that old.
Yeah. Nick didn't even know who he was. I was kind of surprised about that, but
Yeah, I'm surprised when you just said that. Yeah, no, Jerome Kersey. Like, let's put it this way. Part of what Chris Bosh does, Jerome Kersey Ben did that. That like big guy who could shoot from the outside. Except for Jerome Kersey would play in the paint and get fucking rebounds and shit like that. Whereas Bosh now is just a perimeter player.
Kersey was 52. Yep.
Yeah, that caught me like way off guard when I saw that. His time was during Jordan's run.
Yeah.
So,
Terry Porter, Clyde Drexler.
yeah, those were some good Portland teams back then. But they had the misfortune of playing, like most other good teams back then.
Oh yeah.
You had the misfortune of being around when Jordan and the Bulls were at their high point.
All right, we'll move on from that. We'll talk about Kobe talked about he's retiring next season. So, what do you think about that?
I think it's time. He has nothing really to play for. The Lakers aren't going to be competitive, and he's not interested in going anywhere outside of LA. So, I can't see him being. I'm glad he doesn't want to be one of those dudes who are just going to hang around and beg for a trade to get to some other team that actually has a chance to win it, just to get a ring. You got your five, you got your MVPs, all your accolades. Go out. No need to hang around. I mean, his place is cemented. He's gonna go down right now as probably one of the top 10, if not top 5, players of all time. So,
You could agree with that. Yep.
yeah, I could live with that career if I was him.
Also, we got Bosh out for this season with some blood clots.
Yeah, when did that start? Because that.
I think blood clots. I think they're just random. Like as soon as he probably had them at the start of it. They probably just didn't test for him, and then I guess he got some other tests and they popped up.
Yeah, that's crazy that they can't clear. I'm wondering did they say what the cause was for those?
I'm trying to look for that right now. It's just crazy. Like you have your stuff looking up for you, and then now you're just out for the season.
Right.
Where's this at? There's art. All right. What else? We got Carmelo also pretty much done for the season. Might as well be 6 months. Now, with me, I didn't. Well, we know he's just doing that on purpose because the Knicks have no hope. He doesn't want to get hurt, so
Yeah,
he's
and his coach already messed that up anyway at the beginning when they went on that 18-game losing streak or some craziness like that. When he was like, Carmelo needs to sit out for the whole season so he don't get hurt. He pretty much let us know at some point Carmelo's not going to play. I honestly don't think his knee is really hurt. I mean, I'm sure there's something there because during the season, everybody gets tweaked. Something happens here or there, But I don't think it's as serious. They're trying to make it out. They just need him off the court because they figured the season's over. They were trying to tank it anyway. They just trying to make it till next free agency so they can hopefully get somebody. I give them credit for not being as obvious as some other teams, which we'll get to later. But yeah, it's clear that this is just them protecting that investment for next year.
oh yeah.
He doesn't need to sit.
We can move on to the trade deadline. What all went down on that day? Oh my god, there's so many trades. Let's see which one's first. Let's talk about the Dragic trade. Him going to Miami for who they get back Norris Cole and somebody else.
Norris Cole, Danny Granger, and I think Josh McRoberts went with that too.
Yeah,
No, it was a Brian Roberts. I forget his name. I shouldn't forget his name because he used to play for Duke. But yeah. Yeah, they got a nice, they got a nice package. Also, they sent his brother with them, which I thought was funny.
They finally had a point guard now that's not Chalmers.
I think the Heat gave too much for Dragic.
That's true.
I don't know why they had to get the picks.
Also because he's in his contract year and he could really just get up and leave, really. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they gave way too much for him. Too many players, too many picks. They should have negotiated a lot better, but I don't know. Maybe they think that he was the missing piece.
What else do we have? We got Michael Carter Williams going to Milwaukee. I think that was.
Let's save that one for last because that deserves like a really good discussion because I need to figure out. I don't understand Philly's logic.
What else is there? Isaiah Thomas going to the Celtics.
That was okay. Although I didn't understand why Phoenix would sign him and then get rid of him.
Yeah, they had. I don't know what they were trying to do. You got 3 point guards at the start of the season. Now you got one. I mean, you got Brandon Knight too, but I'd throw him at the 2. But.
Yeah, I didn't understand what was the point of even picking all those point guards up if you just.
Now there's a bunch of other little trades and stuff. A bunch of no-name players trading.
Yeah, the Milwaukee one was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we'll talk about the main ones. All right. I got some issues with the Thunder now. Oh, yeah.
Why do you have issues with the Thunder?
Because they build everybody up and trade them. Reggie Jackson, nobody knew about him when he was drafted. Nobody. The only time I started watching him was when he got drafted and was in the Summer League. That's when I started watching him, and now he develops just like James Harden did, and they trade him.
Okay, one thing about the Reggie Jackson thing is, I think you guys were smarter to get rid of him than to keep him. And the reason I say this is because I don't think he's going to have as much of the impact as Harden had.
Oh, yeah.
The Harden thing, yeah, that was just really ridiculous. That was your third. He was, he's a good passer, great shooter. He filled, a lot of holes for that team.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson, what he brings to the table, you can make that up with people. That's something that can be made up collectively. I don't think Reggie Jackson has as big of an impact as he thinks he does on that team. You know, he did a good job when Westbrook was out, sure, but I I think that's a safe trade, especially for what you got for him. I personally think that you robbed everybody in that trade.
I would have liked if we could have got Cantor and not got rid of Reggie. I would have liked that because they traded Perkins for Cantor basically. Like, we don't need Perkins.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming the Jazz just needed to clear cap space for something. That I'm still kind of confused as to why you would give away a young center who's starting to finally have a breakout year for someone who you're basically going to release. Have they released him yet? If not, they should have. Because
yeah, they are releasing him. He's going to Cleveland.
yeah, see, so he really don't have no place anymore. By the way, did you know he was only 30?
Yeah, he has that Greg Oden syndrome. They both look like they're about 50, but yeah.
Right. I'm like, I thought this dude had been in the year for like 15, 20 years. Fucking only 30, and he plays like he's fucking 50. That's the funny part. Because he's not even the defensive player that he used to be.
He's
At
not,
least back when
he's
you
not
first
anything.
Yeah, back when you first got him, at least you knew like he was like really, really good defensive.
Man, if we could have kept Jeff Green, oh my.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, so that's another
trade.
trade.
Harden and Jeff Green might have been the worst trades in the OKC Seattle history.
Yeah, I agree. Because Jeff Green, he definitely would have filled the void. And
If we could have had Russell Westbrook, Jeff Green at the 3, James Harden at the 2, put Durant at power forward, and have Serge Ibaka. Oh my God.
Hindsight's 2020. But yeah, I think you guys got like a pretty decent.
It's better than the Harden trade. Most people don't even know who we got from the Harden trade. The only person remaining from that trade is Jeremy Lamb. We traded James Harden for Jeremy Lamb.
That's crazy.
Kevin Martin was in his contract here. He left, went to Minnesota. I don't even think we got picks from him because Harden was a bench player.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you got picks.
We got Kevin Martin and Jeremy Lamb for James Harden, who is, averaging the most points in the NBA now?
Yeah, he leads the league in scoring. Yeah.
And people wonder why I can't stand this freaking GMs up here.
But no, I mean,
doing.
You got a couple, a good backup point guard. That's the thing. Getting DJ Austin, that was a really good pickup because he has range, good passer. Yeah, so he pretty much fills whatever Reggie Jackson was doing anyway.
I mean, yeah, we got shooters, so Augustine, Singular, and Novak.
Someone in the middle now.
Well, I mean, I like Steven Adams. I think Steven Adams is better than Cantor.
It gives you options though. It's not bad to have options.
Yeah.
You got 2 young centers.
Yeah, him and backup though. I like him better than Perkins. That's why I wish we would have just done that trade. That trade made a lot of sense.
Yeah, it did. It's a very good trade.
The funny
He's not a big name, but he's gonna do a lot for that team.
The funny thing, like I told you on Twitter, Reggie was complaining about starting. He's not better than Brandon Jennings. He's not gonna start in Detroit once he comes back.
Exactly, and that's why I was like, that trade it could be made because he's not doing anything for himself.
He'll have time to prove himself. If he doesn't get 20 and 10 a night, he's not starting.
Yeah, exactly. He's not getting that contract that he thinks he's going to get. So he probably talked himself out of a perfect situation, to be quite honest.
Oh yeah. We're also some type of win streak. I think it's 6. We finally made the 8 seed, so
Oh no, you guys are good. You guys are in the playoffs. I know a lot of people don't think so, but you guys are gonna make the playoffs, and I feel very bad for
Golden
Golden
State.
State because
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
pretty.
That's what I'm telling everybody right now. If we beat Golden State in the first round, we're going to the finals. Plain and simple. That's it.
Yeah, I mean Golden State, they still got some stuff to prove to people. And
This
like I was saying about Atlanta too, yeah, it's nice they're doing all this in the regular season. Wait till the playoffs.
Milwaukee has a higher. Whoa, I'm getting off topic here. Milwaukee has a higher seed than Miami right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, Milwaukee's having a pretty decent year.
They will play. Chicago.
That's why I thought like the trades that they made, they helped themselves too.
Yeah, we haven't even got to that. Man. The 76ers. I don't know what y'all are doing. Y'all
I
didn't get
feel
anything
like their
back.
GM. I don't know why the owner agreed to that plan.
What pick was Carter Williams?
Michael Carter Williams, was he the? He was in the lottery because they had two lottery picks.
You traded. Oh my god! You
I think
traded.
seventh or eighth, something like that.
You traded your two best point guards in the last 5 years. Traded Drew Holiday and Michael Carter Williams. He was Drew Holiday's replacement, and now you
Yeah,
have
they
to
got
pick
rid of
him as
Holiday for him, and now the person they get rid of Holiday for, they get rid of him for.
nobody.
And it's like they're stacking all these picks. Like they're gonna draft a championship team over the next 2-3
Yeah,
years.
they act like those draft picks can't be bust. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, shit. Look at your recent draft picks outside of Williams is pretty much their best draft pick right now. That's the funny part because I don't really see Noel doing anything. Embiid, I don't even know why you got him in the first place. So the one person who looks really good, you trade. What? It's just it makes my head hurt thinking about what they're doing because it's going to be a disaster. It's not going to turn out the way they want it to. Watch. They really think that they are going to get all these great picks. I mean, as it stands now, who's in college that would you say is a like game changer? Who's gonna like make a team that much better ASAP? I don't see anybody. There's a lot of good players, but there's not that many game changers. I mean, they must think that somebody in high school that they're gonna get in 2017 is gonna like fix their problems. That's the only thing I could see. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It makes no sense.
yeah. All
I'm
right.
sorry if you're a Philly fan, but your team's gonna suck for another 10, 15 years.
The Bucks, man, they're looking scary now. Michael Carter
Yeah,
Williams, Giannis.
solid team now.
Man, if Larry Sanders would stop BSing and just sit there and play, I mean, they could have done something.
You know, they got some pieces together. They're looking very, very good. I'm sure Kid is excited about that. He might actually get a decent basketball franchise.
And Jabari's coming back next year.
Yeah, that's another thing. They're doing this without their star player.
Franchise player. Yeah.
So they're doing good. I'm surprised at how well Jason Kidd is doing, to be quite honest.
I never even heard of the Bucks possibly making the trade before that day. They just all those trades dropped at one time.
Yeah, like the Thunder, I wasn't surprised. I was expecting you guys to try to make a couple of moves to
Yeah, I had heard
make that
about that.
play. The Phoenix thing, I guess, wasn't a surprise because Dragic's been unhappy about his playing time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Philly, they just came out of nowhere because there was no reason for them to trade at all for anything, and they just did the stupidest thing in the world and got rid of their star player. You know, Philadelphia, y'all deserve to suck. I'm sorry. Y'all don't even deserve any like success right now because your front office is fucking retarded.
I'm just sitting here looking at the standings. These are flipped around so much. San Antonio, OKC are the 7th and 8th seed. They've been the top 2 seeds for the last 3 years.
But they're 7 and 8 seeds that I wouldn't want to play because most of the reason they're there is only because of injuries. It's not because they're actually bad teams. They're still really, really good teams. And they're teams that have been to the finals. They know how to make it to the championship. I would not want to play either one of them for shit because
we have the best winning streak in the NBA, active winning streak right now. We won 6 games in a row. If we get past Golden State and San Antonio loses to Memphis or the Clippers or somebody like that, that's a finals run. San Antonio is the only team that, besides the Warriors, that I think could stop us.
Yeah, and I'm not totally sold on the Warriors anyway until they make a bigger impact in the playoffs.
Yeah. They're looking good, though. But the problem with that is if they haven't done it yet, but if they start missing threes, I don't know.
Yeah.
They could just pull up transition buckets. Like, it doesn't even matter for them. They don't even have to get dirty.
Shooting team, but it's lots of man-to-man, one-on-one situations in the NBA. Somebody's got to get open.
Yeah.
Defense locks down, so we'll see how that goes. And playing a team like OKC or San Antonio, who they're too well coached, and they're used to that. Like, who's going to stop Kevin Durant one-on-one for them? You know, San Antonio, they just collectively know how to play team ball, so they know how to get open. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Don't sleep on OKC. Don't sleep on San Antonio.
Why are these dudes saying it's time for Durant to shut it down? He is not pulling the Carmelo. If Durant doesn't play the rest of the season, we'll lose that playoff spot.
See, this is the thing. If he wants to play and can play, there's no need to shut him down. None at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he is essential to any plans you have for making the playoffs and doing anything in the playoffs. And he knows that, and he ain't gonna want to sit down anyway. He'd probably laugh. Like, he's not Carmelo. He's not just there for the money. You know. So, yeah, that's a stupid thought. It's not gonna happen. Durant's gonna play.
He needs to. Alright, Kid said he is on his way home right now, so I guess we'll wait for him, get his opinions on the situations, and then we'll wrap this thing up. What else is there? See what all we've missed. Anthony Davis is out for 2 weeks with his shoulder injury. Jared Sullinger is done for the season. What happened to him?
He's still hurt. It's a shame that he's still hurt. He could have been a solid big man.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he was going to be. What happened to him? I didn't even know this happened. Hey, Nick.
What's up, my
Uh,
sorry. What's up?
Perfect timing, sir.
Hey. Yeah, what's up?
All right, since you're here,
Just in your wheelhouse too.
Kobe retiring. What do you think?
Oh. And like all great, like for every great player, it all happens to the best of them. Like saying how it was for what's his name, Dr. J when he went. Same for Magic and them, and Bird when they went. Same for Jordan. Like you know, once the greats go, you just gotta have somebody else pick up the slack, and then they the number one thing. And
The
right now, whatever. Right now it's LeBron. Then once LeBron go, then it's gonna be up to KD to hold it down. Because to be honest though, when Kobe retires, I think I'm gonna cry. Cause I cried when Shaq left. I was I was sad, boy. I was like, we'll never have a big man like Shaq again. I was like, oh my.
Also, we were talking about the All Star Weekend stuff. Just so y'all know, Nick said Vince Carter's dunks weren't impressive. So,
I'm sorry.
Nick.
I'm sorry. And this is in my mind. This is true. I like when I saw it. I wasn't like, oh my god. Like I was like, oh
the man jumped over a 7-footer.
man. So is Nate Robinson dunked over Dwight Howard.
Oh, you said dunked. He jumped over him. His legs cleared the top of his head.
A person.
Are you talking about he
Do that? They don't.
He dunked over that dude in the Olympics?
Yeah.
That's not the dunk contest. I'm talking about the dunk contest.
I'm talking about in general Vince Carter dunking. You said it was not impressive.
You probably missed a lot. Like, it's kind of a situation like it is with Levine, where that's not the best that he's done in his life. Vince Carter was an exceptional athlete. He has done some crazy dunks in his life, not just in a contest, but in game. He does contest dunks in game.
Now that I've seen in the contest, though, I wasn't like as hyped as what's his name, Kenny Smith was. It's over. Like I wasn't.
Okay, to be fair, like, Kenny Smith overhypes everything. So,
yeah, he overhypes himself.
Exactly. He swears that he was just such a great dunk. I mean, he was cool.
I didn't even know he could dunk. Like
he could. That's why he's called the Jet.
He was talking about him and Jordan having like dunk contests after practice. I'm like, what?
Kenny Smith could get up there. He could get up there. A lot of
Yeah, no, he definitely could dunk, but he was not. Nah.
Yeah, he wasn't like no. He wasn't
there was
like
a reason why he never won a dunk contest.
Yeah, like he wasn't like the Glide or anybody.
Yeah, no, he had people on his team that was better than him.
Yeah, that boy was there.
Right. What else did you miss? What do you think about the trades that went down? The deadline.
I feel that the Bucks they got a nice trade. I feel sorry for Reggie Jackson because when he had his debut with the Pistons, he was 0 for 8, and then he ended throwing up in that game. And then what else? The Cavaliers they just got more people now, and it's crazy. And like so, it's like the Miami Heat all over again. Like as far as like the depth.
What's crazy to me about that team in Miami, nobody wanted to give them a big man. Now they got about 3, maybe 4. Like what? Nobody wanted to trade them a big man in Miami.
You got the best player in the league on your team. You don't want to upset him and have him go. They definitely don't want LeBron to go again. They're gonna give him everything he wants. They're gonna give him everything he wants. And everybody ain't saying all you gotta do is take a lower pay cut to come here and win a ring. Oh, sign me up, shoot.
Perkins went there. Mozgov is there. Bergeron is there. Tristan Thompson is there. Like they are stacked.
Man, they destroyed. Even though New York's not somebody to brag about, and they destroyed them.
I'm not even gonna play around. We lost to the Knicks. I don't know how, but we lost to the Knicks. Oh,
Dude,
I mean, that was when you guys weren't all that healthy anyway.
I'd take our team without Westbrook or Durant. Still think we could beat the
What?
Knicks, but
Oh. I thought you was just talking about in general in the NBA. I was like,
nah. Nah.
I'm not surprised at Cleveland though, because I told everybody they weren't gonna be like it was gonna be like Miami. They were gonna start off rough. They had to get their situation together, and then they're gonna like gel eventually.
right.
They'd be okay.
And I don't think nobody was expecting them to get this much. Like, like they got it together. How they passed
But
17.
once they got rid of Waiters, that's when they were ready to like.
I totally forgot we had Deion Waiters during that trade deadline. I'm like, I was thinking it was our shooting guard. I totally forgot we had Deion Waiters.
Cause he ain't. He can get you about 10 plus points, but he ain't like no outstanding player. Like even
He's
better
not
than what we have. Better than Jeremy Lamb.
Yeah, but now you guys are better because now you've got a bunch of people who, if one person's not hot, you could always go to the next person.
Exactly.
Like I'm telling nigga right now, if we get past Golden State in the first round, we are going to the
That's
NBA
not about to
Finals.
beat no Golden State. Have you seen Golden State's bench? There's a reason why they. There's a reason why they dominate everybody in the West. Like even they bench could start Andre Iguodala, David Lee, Harrison Barnes.
I didn't say we were going to beat them for sure. I said if we get past Golden State, we're going to the NBA Finals.
I don't believe that because every team in the Western Conference could make it to the finals. So I don't believe that.
The only team that I believe can beat us is Golden State. Is San Francisco. Is it? Is it? We already beat the Clippers last year. The Clippers can't beat us. Dallas, we beat them. Portland.
I could have sworn Dallas beat the Thunder like a while back. Who is it?
They do, but we have a good rivalry. I think we beat them more times than they beat us, though.
Well, all I know is Dallas beat y'all, I think, and went to the finals and won.
Yeah, they did. That's what I'm saying. But Dallas is playing Houston in the first round.
Oh, see, I can't beat Houston. I don't see it.
We beat
Houston.
Oh,
Houston doesn't play enough defense.
Houston couldn't beat Portland.
No, here's the crazy thing. They actually have, because I remember this was like a month ago at least. And I was looking at James Harden's stat because like when they shoot, they'll like show you what they lead the league in, and like most definitely for offensive things, James Harden is the first in like 5 of them, and then James Harden's also like second or third in steals, so he's doing something.
James Harden, I'm talking about team defense. And James Harden, he could play decent. That finals was kind of anomaly because he's not a bad defensive player. He just didn't play any good defense against the Heat.
Because he wanted his what's this called? His energy for offense. That's why. I'm just saying, like, because James Harden, he's stepping into an MVP role. He's actually being a leader. It's like compared to recent times. So
I want James Harden back. Give us them all again. We didn't want to trade him.
Hey, the funny thing is, y'all know why y'all did that. Y'all thought Ibaka was about to be the next big thing, so it's like,
Ibaka's still good, but I'm saying I want Harden back. I can have Westbrook. I want Harden.
They thought Ibaka was about to be the what's his name, the Chris Bosh of y'all team. Like they thought he was about to be that good.
He is.
What?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He's better defensive presence than Chris Bosh.
No, they thought he was gonna be that third scorer for them that could dominate. That's what I'm saying. They thought he played so good in that finals, which he did against Miami. They was like, what's the point? We don't need you no more. Well, and plus you gotta keep in mind, Green's supposed to be there too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I said if we could have had Westbrook, Harden, Jeff Green, Durant, and Ibaka starting,
James Harden is doing his thing, yo. He's 3.3 off of averaging 6 boards a game. He averaging 6.8 assists a game, 2 steals per game. like his assist to turnover ratio is 1.7. I mean, that's okay. And then he averaging 27.2 points. Like, I mean, he's doing his thing, man. And they second in the conference, or at least
Yeah. Hey, Russell Westbrook's #2. I didn't know that. Hey.
Russell Westbrook #2.
Yeah, that's one.
Oh. Yeah, he just not got there because he missed so many games. He didn't qualify at first. Yeah.
If Russell Westbrook is the scoring leader, I ain't even gonna say that.
Don't say nothing about KD. He only played 27 games this year.
I was gonna say if we get into the playoffs and Westbrook's the scoring leader, give him MVP. But anyways,
They're not gonna do that.
They're
gonna give it to whoever got the best record and the best player on that team.
that's what I was saying. It's either Curry or Curry.
Dude, at this rate, though, LeBron might win it because, hey, boy.
Curry's leading the league in steals too. That's steals.
It'll be.
LeBron.
I think it'll
If
be.
LeBron wins MVP, man.
If who?
If LeBron. If he wins MVP again, I'm done.
Have you not been seeing?
No.
Like, they out of their 17 games, they won 15.
If LeBron wins MVP again, I'm done.
Well, all I'm saying is that he turned J.R. Smith.
He can win it every year, so.
That's like what I was saying to Kid earlier about the NFL MVP. They still shouldn't have gave it to Rodgers because he could do that every year.
Yeah. He didn't have a breakout season or anything. I mean,
I think
JJ Watt.
if you can make J.R. Smith turn into an excellent player that plays his role and understands y'all offense, I think you deserve MVP. And he ain't even coach of the year.
No, that's what I was gonna say. They need to give Black coach of the year. I mean, LeBron needs to coach, but
Sure.
he's a player coach. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that one. I'll take that.
He's still not the best player though.
What?
LeBron's not the best player.
He had me and Prodigy had the same conversation with him yesterday. We pulled up their stats.
Hey, I ain't even ready for this because it's about to be 3-on-1 in here.
We was asking them for the facts and foundation to back this up. Like
They came at me 2-on-1. It was not fair.
I'm just saying, if you need a foundation when you say stuff like that. You need something to back that up.
It was 2-on-1.
Why don't
I
you
wasn't
think
ready
he's the best player? Just curious.
because Durant is in
They
the
beat
league.
them in the finals.
Oh,
They beat them in the
okay, all right. I was like, I need to find out what's the tie that makes him actually thinks this is true.
If they won the finals, he wouldn't even have a problem with LeBron.
I'm gonna take this off myself. Nick didn't know who Jerome Kersey was, so
No, I do not, and I'm not ashamed. I don't know.
Come on,
I
Nick.
don't know who that is. I asked him to tell me, and he got mad.
Nick, did you see Richard Jefferson? You know they called that an offensive foul.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
They called it an offensive foul.
He still boomed on him.
Offensive foul.
Probably because he was
What?
pushing him like when the
No,
play.
he slapped his forearm away because Kid Gilchrist, he was about to like clothesline Richard Jefferson, so he pushed his arm down. They called it an offensive foul.
Yeah, I mean that's probably why. Cause
It
that
was
play,
not an offensive foul. It was defensive, if anything.
He was inside the arc too. That's what they shouldn't even be fouls if you're inside the arc.
I don't know.
That's the rule, though. If you're inside that arc, you can't call.
He didn't go straight up. He like curved and tried to block him, and he just got dunked on. They called it an offensive foul. Like what?
But the only reason I see why they caught that though is because of everything that happened afterwards. Because they caught that whistle a little late. But that's the only reason why. I mean, I ain't saying it should have been.
Richard Jefferson, he couldn't even stop though. Like he ran him over because he's.
I mean, yeah, I remember. It's like when Scottie Pippen did that to Patrick Ewing. It definitely looked like
when Shaq pushed old dude down.
And then he threw the ball at him.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You can't stop Shaq.
Yeah, that's why I cried when he retired. Like, damn. Like you don't know how sad that was, cause like that's like around the time I started watching. Like I didn't get to see Kobe and like Kobe and Shaq, but I saw D Wade and Shaq, and I was like, this dude's a beast.
You should have seen me when Durant was doing his MVP speech.
Oh god. But I think Anthony Davis. I think he's turned into that big man that I think we'll learn to love.
He needs to turn down the OKC.
I don't want to do all
The
that.
contract waiting for him.
Dude, if y'all lose this year, like if y'all don't go to the finals,
I don't even say it.
I truly think Kevin Durant is leaving. I think they're breaking up.
All right, it's time to end this.
You think who's breaking up?
Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. Because I will say this to the day I died. As great as players both of them are, they cannot win together. Like it's shown time and time again. They can't win together. I'm serious, man. Then on top of that, Russell Westbrook.
He should have traded Westbrook. I agree. He should have been the one that was gone.
I've been preaching this. I mean, I need Rondo. Like I don't see. I mean, Russell Westbrook does his thing, but I don't see how you got the best scorer in the league if you don't average over 10 plus assists every game. Like he's averaging 8. So, I mean, he's doing his thing, but I mean, come on, you got one of the best scorers in the league, though. I'm like, I've been giving him the ball every time I come down the court. Like, here you go. And that's why him and Rondo will be a perfect fit, because Rondo does not care about not getting the ball. He plays his role.
What y'all talking about?
We talking about Westbrook and KD, how they'll never win together.
I can't say they'll never win together, but Durant's chances of getting a championship are better without him, in my mind.
No, you're correct, Mike. You're correct.
Let me see. All right, let me see. Let me go ahead and try to split this up.
If KD had like a more, he doesn't even need necessarily a traditional point guard, but just someone who
James Harden
doesn't. James Harden doesn't necessarily need to have the ball to score. He knows how to make himself open. He's comfortable with shooting from the outside. Westbrook, he has to.
Give me the ball. Get the hell out of my way.
He has to initiate his offense. He can shoot, but he prefers to drive. He's more of a slasher, which means that when he has the ball in his hand, 9 times out of 10, he's trying to think about whether or not he can get to the basket rather than who's open. You know what I mean?
Did you see them when they played against the Spurs on Christmas? Like, like they were down by like 15, and every play it was like Russell Westbrook called for the ball, came to the top of the key, drove to the lane, left hand finish. Like it was like give me the ball, move. They won the game, but you could just tell like Russell Westbrook is as great as he is. He's even turned into the bailout player for the Thunder, I believe. Like when all those fails, give him the ball because we can't do nothing else. Ibaka's great on defense, but he ain't gonna hold it down on offense. And nobody else on that squad can do it except for him, KD and Westbrook. Hashtag.
Trades made him a little better because now they got better options. Still, Westbrook gotta get it to those options.
But he ain't gonna do it.
I feel like. Let me chime in. I feel like the team that they had. I feel like the Westbrook that they have right now, they can make a run to the finals. I mean, because I feel like Westbrook has calmed down, from what he used to be. And the only thing OKC is really they really missing one more piece. Then they'll be straight. At least for the West, they'll get there. Now,
Waiters.
Oh my God!
You said even with Waiters?
I'm sorry,
Waiters.
Hey,
I mean, they need one more piece.
We gotta ask you about the football stuff too. What do you think about the Super Bowl when it went down?
What about the Super Bowl?
What went down at the end? What happened that whole fourth quarter?
Oh, Super Bowl. Talking about that play call?
Yeah, that and the whole fourth quarter basically.
I mean, I don't know, man, because I mean, it could either it could have went either way. I mean, what like the whole drive down the field. I'll just focus on like the last part of it because I don't only thing I really remember from that Super Bowl is like that last drive.
Yeah.
I mean, if dude don't make that catch at the end, I mean not the end, but if that who was that?
Curse.
Curse, Jermaine Curse, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
If he don't make that catch, they not even in that position. But even when they was in that position, I could understand Pete Carroll's play calling. Go get him, Jay. I can understand the play calling of Pete Carroll, but I would have at least ran it the first time, seeing as they had a timeout. And if they didn't have a timeout, then I could see them doing that play. But even that play itself, that play, that was a good call because if you look at it, Butler just made a play on the ball. If he's not there, if he doesn't jump that route, that's a touchdown.
That's why I was telling Mike at the beginning they should have thrown him off. They just went out and shotgun slants and tried to do that. It was a bad play call. It wasn't a bad execution. Malcolm just
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the thing. It was like I said, I mean, I don't even think it's the execution. I just think if Butler don't make a play on that ball, when nobody else gonna make a play on that ball.
They should have done if it was a play action pass or at least a run or something. I think they would have won that game.
I don't know. Well, yeah.
All right. What else? Let's see. That's actually about it. That's all that I see. Unless anybody else has any last words.
I mean, how long y'all been going on? An hour? Oh man.
Yeah.
Sure.
What haven't we covered that they haven't talked about?
Nothing really major. My last thing to ask you was the Cowboy situation, and that was it.
Let me see. You got that. We talked about Milwaukee and how
Cowboy situation in Milwaukee. That's it.
What about Melo sitting down for the rest of the season?
Oh yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think it's a joke. What do you think, Nick?
I mean, shoot. I mean, at this rate, and Melo, as long as he ain't hurt. Yeah, I know he ain't hurt, but I mean, he is getting surgery, so I mean, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but I mean, at this rate, he ain't winning nowhere. I mean, low key, there's really not a point in trying to compete for a playoff spot or nothing because I mean, you're not gonna get there. They're 19%, or they probably even got higher since then. But him sitting down for the rest of the season, I'm like, man. I mean, if you're gonna do all that, then you better show out next year. That's how I see it. If you're gonna do all that, because that's the same stuff kind of what D Rose was going through because they don't pay you that much money for you to sit down and not play. They pay you that much money so you can get them wins and even possibly get them a championship.
Exactly.
That's how I see that.
You should have gave Carmelo that money.
Yeah, tune.
Carmelo, he should have went to Chicago.
Chicago dodged the bullet there. They dodged.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Thibodeau put Melo in his place.
Yeah, he would have broke their chemistry though, because that dude.
He probably would have. You're right.
Throwing the ball in the corner, and let him decide if he's gonna do that jumper or if he's gonna try to do that. Keep jab stepping you, hoping that you bite. That's pretty much what he wants to do.
Yep. And also, what y'all did y'all talk about Chris Bosh?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Shoot.
I'm back.
What else they see? I mean, what about shoot, I don't know. I don't even know.
Okay, what do you think about the Dez and DeMarco situation? Think they should keep both of them, or could they keep both of them? Or you think one of them is going to leave? What?
From word is they trying to franchise Dez, so I'm pretty sure y'all know how that works. They gonna get him, but he ain't gonna get his money, and which is probably gonna cause sitting out, going on strike or whatever he gonna do to get his money. As for DeMarco, they might let him slide depending on what's going on with this whole AP situation. Seeing as he already expressed that he wants to play in Dallas. I didn't really see them repaying DeMarco anyway because he's gonna want a whole bunch of money, and I just feel like he was just a product of that offensive line. Because if you don't have that offensive line, you don't have DeMarco. At least the DeMarco you had of last season. So,
he was doing good without that line, though.
I mean, he was doing his thing, but I mean, he had a this was his career year right here. Him being in the race for MVP, and things like that. Them having a winning record behind him running the ball. But the only thing that throws everything off is the whole Joseph Randle thing. Because Joseph Randle had decent stats too with the snaps that he had, being a product, coming off of that, coming with that offensive line. So they gonna look at Jerry Jones gonna look at all that. Plus, DeMarco been in the league for a minute now for a running back, and they lifespan is only like 4 years. So I just don't see them throwing the money at him that he's gonna be asking for. At least they're gonna be a little hesitant on it. They might re-sign him though. At the end, when it's all said and done, they might re-sign him. So.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about this last thing, and then we'll wrap it up. The Bucks trades and how the team is doing. What do you think about that?
Talking about like the NBA as a whole, or just the Bucks?
Yeah, the trade deadline and what the Bucks are doing now.
I mean, the Bucks, man. We preparing for the future, man. That's our slogan: own the future. If you're in Milwaukee, you hear that all the time. If you follow them on Twitter, that's like their hashtag all the time. I can see it setting up for something later on because, like I said, the East gonna be up for grabs in a couple of years, maybe 3-4 years from now. East will be up for grabs, depending on what Washington does because they still young. Depending on D Rose and Chicago. Outside of those two teams, the East is up for grabs, and I mean, and if Atlanta is consistent with what they're doing, then I guess they'll be in the mix too. But that whole thing in Cleveland, that's going to eventually come to an end. Unless the Knicks do something. Even Boston might be in the mix a few years from now. So, if Jabari come back, if Jabari come back strong next year, that Michael Carter Williams trade will blend in real nice. So hopefully they just don't mess that up.
And that would be, man, if Sanders would just, if
Sanders would have stayed, or I wish we got a deal. I wish we could have made a move off of Sanders, but I guess he really just don't want to play basketball. So, I guess no team really want to take that risk on him. But they're gonna have length. They're gonna have length and height. They're gonna be one of the tallest squads in the league.
I saw that. Was that you out there with a wingspan? That was crazy.
I think I retweeted something. I seen something on Twitter.
Their wingspan was ridiculous. Like their whole starting five has like a 6'7".
Defensively. Yeah, if you check the Bucks stats. Like defensively, they're like the third.
Yeah, they're fourth right now in points allowed.
They moved down to fourth. I know, like the other day, they was like third. Miami was like number one.
The thing that's killing the Bucks right now that I'm looking at is their points and then their rebounds.
They just can't. They always been like that. They had a hard time scoring. They had their games where they score and they had their games where they don't score. A lot of their games be close. If you go off of the numbers, they score about 98 points a game. They only allow like 97. So a lot of their games are close. But they 8 out of 10. I mean, they 8 out of 2 out of their last 10 games. I mean, low key they doing some things. It'll set them up for the future, depending on how free agency and stuff works, or where they land in the draft lottery. Or then again, they ain't gonna be in the draft lottery. So I mean, it depends on what they do with their pick and stuff like that. This draft is supposed to be deep anyway, so we'll see.
Real quick before we go, one thing I just saw, they asked Jordan a question, and they was asking him questions since he turned 50, and he said the 4 players that he believes would be that could be successful in his era, because obviously this today's game is nothing like the 80s or 90s. He said the 4 players that he feels that would be successful in his era would be LeBron, Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Dirk Nowitzki. What do y'all think about that?
Dirk? I don't know.
Interesting.
Dirk would be fine because of he'd be another
it was a more physical game back then, though.
He'd be another definite strength. He would be a big man who could shoot and spread the floor. He'd be fine. So I could see how Dirk fit.
I'm trying to see. I'm thinking of the fours back then. Let me see who would have been holding like.
Jordan is so Spectacle.
Dude, you ain't gonna sit here and say Kevin Durant would have dominated.
What? Oh,
He ain't
he
got
can
the
shoot. That's what he needs.
physically. Then you gotta keep in mind.
Yeah, that's the thing. They would have bodied him up like.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
frame is
if-
small. I don't think
If
his
Steve
frame would have allowed him.
Kerr, if Steve Kerr could do success on the Bulls,
Steve
Durant
Kerr
could be
didn't average.
successful.
He never averaged over 10
Nah,
points.
Steve Kerr was playing off board.
He was just a perimeter.
All
Like,
right.
barely had the ball, and he just stayed on the perimeter.
Yeah.
It's 3-on-1.
That's a role player. I'm just saying he was a role player. We talking about like an established player. I mean, he would have been good. I don't know.
He would
if
have
he
had
was,
somebody like Scotty on him. Who else was threes around that time? Scotty would have. There's a lot of threes back then. It was a lot of fours back then. That would have. He would have had some physical boys on him. That was a physical game back then.
And he said, but then he went to say that LeBron wouldn't be successful, but he could be successful. But here, I'll just give y'all the article though, because it wasn't that long, but it was just something interesting. And then I see how it got to Will when he just heard about it. Yeah, that's the GOAT right there speaking on today's game. He says so disrespectful.
So disrespectful, Jordan.
He ain't lying.
Yeah, y'all got anything else? Any last words? Or we wrap this up?
I ain't got nothing.
Too late, but you have to make some moves, man. Do some things, but
I'm sitting there waiting for the Xenoverse to drop. That's all I'm doing.
4.5 more hours, man. 4.5 more hours.
Hey, I guess we'll wrap this up. We'll be back this Saturday, actually. So we'll see y'all then. Peace.